We're diving into the world of craft beer with someone who's making big waves in Cebu. We're honored to welcome our special guest, Matthew Lhuillier, the driving force behind Bisaya Brew, a local brand that's changing the game when it comes to beer, and a proud fourth-generation member of the Lhuillier group of companies, one of the most prominent family-owned businesses in the country. With a background in business, management, culinary, and hospitality, Matthew's passion for creating exceptional experiences led him to embark on a new venture, craft beer. Matthew reflects, "Going into the industry as a chef, I thought I was well prepared. But I'll tell you, I became more of a scientist making this beer. This blend of culinary creativity and scientific discipline has successfully blended tradition with innovation, crafting a beverage that highlights the rich flavors, stories, and heritage of the Visayas region. His work not only elevates Filipino craftsmanship, but also celebrates the regional identity with every bottle. Using the resources of Lhuillier Foods Incorporated, he and his team set out on a journey of discovery, working alongside a consultant accredited by the Duemans Academy of Beer." Is that how you say it?
That's very good.
Okay, in Germany.
I like this introduction so far.
In Germany, to craft a long-term production plan. The result? A world-class brewery facility in Mandaue, Cebu, where Bisaya Brew was born. Matthew and his team go above and beyond sourcing the finest German malts and hops, blending local rice and corn, and focusing on quality far beyond industry standards. In today's deep conversation, we'll dive into Matthew's journey from chef to brewer, his team's dedication to craftsmanship, and how passion for local ingredients and heritage inspires his work in the craft beer industry. Matthew, welcome to the Karencitta Show podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Wow, thank you so much for that introduction.
Of course. Everyone wants to know what inspired you to start Bisaya Brew. How did this idea come to you?
It was kind of a whirlwind experience. I was living in Los Angeles, like I was telling you not too long ago, just about a year and a half ago. This project actually had come into fruition in 2022. So there was a team here originally from France who was working on this project, finding contracts with different resorts and hotels who were interested in purchasing craft beer. It just never really pulled through, and so they left the Philippines. They left all this equipment, and I basically said, you know what? I've been in the U.S. now for 11 years.
What can I do? How can I contribute?
My goal was always really to come back home to work with the family.
But the question is like, what and why?
What exactly? I was trying to find my place and offer something of value.
But you saw the opportunity when they left the equipment here in Cebu.
Exactly. So I thought, you know what, this is kind of interesting because this is a way for us to expand more into the culinary side.
Yes, because you guys do have the restaurants, you guys have the water, and now beer.
Exactly. And so basically,
you saw the opportunity.
I saw the opportunity, so I decided to come back to the Philippines and take on this challenge. I studied the equipment. I also definitely reinvested in the equipment, so I improved the equipment that we had. The final step was basically finding a mentor, and that was this consultant.
The Duemans.
Yeah, so who was Jason. And
Jason, shout out to Jason!
He actually became a good friend in the end, and so he taught me everything. So, starting from scratch, I had no experience in making beer before. I have no engineering background. There's a lot of different engineering aspects in the process. It's quite complicated, huge task to take on, and I just had to have the right people around me.
You said engineering, and there were a lot of things that you learned. That takes me to my next question. How did you go about educating yourself from the fermentation, the ingredient, of course, the culinary experience, you got the ingredients down, the brewing, the manufacturing, the distribution, the packaging. Did you hire consultants to just teach you on a one-time basis, or Like, take me through this whole educational journey.
The great thing is that I have a great team around me with Emily Our Foods, forever expanding into a lot of interesting products. We have a lot of new products to come soon.
So you made use of the existing team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And basically formalize the brewing process, formalize the production of...
You know how I'm trying to visualize you with like a white coat, and you mentioned scientists.
For the brewing process, it's just more about a completely sterile facility. From timing to temperature to pH levels and sugar content, all of these things affect the final product. Being a few degrees over or under the ideal setting for that recipe completely changes the outcome of the beer. There's been many times when we've had a lot of product wasted. We just had to pour it out the drain because
It just didn't pass your standard.
exactly, it just was completely different from what we were trying to achieve. And that was just because of not being quite so precise and just learning to be precise, and of course improving the equipment that we work with. That's a huge part of the brewing process, is having the right equipment. It's quite costly, but once you invest in it, you'll notice that it really makes a huge difference. Clarity of the product and also shelf life, and quite interesting.
To achieve the end goal that you and your team want, how many months does that usually take?
The brewing process is around maybe 8 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like...
Yes, but then from there you transfer and after filtration into a fermentation tank.
And that takes...
Either a month to 2 months.
And that's it.
Then you carbonate it and then you put it in a keg or a bottle, whatever you want. It's almost like brewing tea initially. You're kind of putting your malts and everything into hot water, and you're trying to extract like the sugar and the flavor out of it, and then you're transferring that into another container where you're trying to clarify it and you're trying to get the cleanest wort possible. So you're basically like filtering it through its own grains until you have like a pretty much a clear, like light brown, golden brown liquid. Everything is to take into consideration.
Gosh, we face so many challenges, and maintaining our health often takes a back seat. But Immuni Plus helped me stay relieved from stress. It refreshed me throughout the day and recovered from my busy sched. It's a ready-to-drink sachet that supports my immune system naturally. No mixing, no hassle. I've experienced the difference, Sita babes, and I know you will too. Check out Immuni Plus today and take the next step in building a better, healthier you. Relieved, refreshed, recovered. I can see, Matthew, that you're so passionate about this startup, this business. How do you guys differentiate Bisaya Brew from all the other competitors?
It's actually interesting because Cebu has had some really great beers come out, and it's becoming quite exciting to be a part of the community here as it really grows.
You guys are everywhere, by the way, in every single restaurant, bar, whether it's a new restaurant or an old one, Bisaya Brew is a staple.
Yeah, I'm really fighting for each account.
As you should.
We're pushing hard for it, but for the most part, we try to keep it organic. And to get back to your original question, what differentiates us from the competition?
Yeah.
I would say it's consistency, and then the open-mindedness. We're experimenting with all types of Philippine ingredients. So recently we've partnered with a luxury resort here in the Philippines. They wanted to do an ingredient that was famous to Bohol, where they're going to be based. Actually, it came out to be those peanut kisses, I believe is what it's.
Yeah.
So we're doing a beer with peanut
No way. Okay, very localized, very Cebuano inspired.
We have a mango beer, which is made out of byproduct of our dried mango. We
Smart.
Quite a bit of dried mango. And
Yeah.
incorporating 100% local labor.
100%, okay.
Pretty much everyone, aside from our brewmaster, is from the same
Cebu.
community in
Same
Busai. Yeah.
Aside from Jason, did you have any other mentors or any people or experiences in your life that influenced your approach to entrepreneurship?
Definitely, my family upbringing had a huge impact on the person I am today. Just can't help it, growing around the conversations that I grew up around.
Tita Joanna, shout out.
Yeah, my father, my mother, my grandfather, my aunt, they've all been huge impact on my life.
I love that.
Because of the type of people that they are, and constantly starting new businesses,
Constantly growing, constantly evolving and innovating.
being open to failure. It was nerve-wracking, honestly, taking this on initially, because
But if it doesn't scare you, it's not worth doing.
coming home and like seeing all of, like I said, like all this scientific looking equipment, and it was overwhelming, and then taking it to market, and then seeing everyone's reaction, and like everyone took my face and like put it right smack in front of everything. I know our logo is Lapu Lapu, but everyone's kind of like Bisaya Brew, oh, Matthew Lhuillier, and so I felt like, I had so much on the line. I looked back at it and it was insane, because like in May of 2024, we had 0 sales. We were just starting. We weren't selling anything. Now today, looking at ourselves, with 90, I think, plus accounts in Cebu alone.
Congratulations, Matthew.
Growing more and more. We're starting in Siargao, Manila, and Bohol, and Dumaguete, and to see the trucks every single day coming in, picking up, cases and kegs, and I'm like, oh, where's that going? Oh, this is going to Mactan. It's like, whoa, it's non-stop, and it's just like so overwhelming, and it's so cool, and it's like almost every time I go for dinner, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll have Bisaya Brew. It's so nice to have that feeling of like seeing like my product available and like out in the market. It's come a long way, and like organically.
That's the right way to do it, because I can tell what's working and what's not. If you're not organic and authentic, then you're never gonna know what you're doing right or wrong. You're just putting out money just to be out there.
And it might not be lasting, right?
Exactly. So I really gravitate towards what you said, growing organically. Because at the end of the day, Sita Babes, authenticity is the catalyst of business. I say this all the time in my interviews for the Karencitta brand. You have to represent your roots. You have to be your unique self. You want to be the purple cow in the market. Anyway, speaking of purple cow, this next segment, Sita Babes, is about Bisaya roots. Bisaya Brew has a very unique identity. I discovered a lot of new things today just talking to Matthew. I'm pretty shocked right now. Matthew, what does the brand represent to you?
What it represents to me is really a family effort, familial team, hard work, just passion in trying to do everything the best, and not really considering cost, which doesn't happen a lot when it comes to craft beer. You have to like have a completely different mindset, because we're always looking for ways to innovate, whether it be portable ways to offer the beer so people can take it boating or on a trip. We're always focused on sustainability as well. Our factory actually is 100% carbon neutral, in we don't purchase any electricity from the grid, so we're completely solar powered.
Wow.
Reusing all of the water that we use for cleaning. We're just refiltering it and then cleaning and then using it again for cleaning. We try to leave the smallest impact that we can. Recently, we just launched our glass bottled water as well. When
will that launch? What quarter of this year?
Mid next month.
Okay, really soon. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yes, and like I'm a big like ocean person. I love boating. And
I could tell you're really tan. That's a good thing though.
Every time I'm on the water, it's so painful to me. Like more and more, especially here, like in the channel of Mactan and Cebu, like you see like plastic, and it's just painful. Like I don't want to be a part of that. So we try to use recyclable plastic, like PETs. We make our own plastic bottles at the moment.
Can we do that? As consumers of Bisaya Brew, where do we put the bottles at?
We offer actually a rebate. So if ever you return the bottle to us, it's like 4 pesos that we give back to you per bottle. You can bring that back to our factory, Lhuillier Riverside.
So yes, we can return the bottles and get a rebate. You grew up in the USA half of your life. Where does this passion for the Filipino culture come from, and how important is it for you to connect with our cultural heritage?
From a young age, I was always identifying as Filipino. My dad always made it like a big rule. I went to Ateneo Sacred Heart, so I was surrounded by a lot of like local culture as well there, and I've always gone to the office and visited as a young kid, and I've actually worked in the branches as a young kid, and it's always been a priority for the family. So Bisaya is definitely how I feel at heart. And actually when I moved to the United States, it was really funny, because for the first few years I would go to school, I would like really make a point to wear like the Nike Filipino, like the Manny Pacquiao like sweaters. Like, what are you, or where are you from? And I'd be like, oh, I'm Filipino, and
but aren't you half French?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know what 23andMe is.
No. No.
It's like ancestry.com or something.
Oh, okay, one of those things. Yeah, I know what that is.
Like,
Yeah.
Like where you're from, like 10% here, like
Ooh.
whatever. Like,
Okay, so what's your percentages? Like, how much percent
it was like
Bisaya Brew are you?
It's so funny because something like 60% British and then
Okay.
15% Filipino.
What?
So it's not too much.
But in your heart, though.
Definitely 100%.
I want to retest. Can we get a different supplier?
Exactly. I think it's rigged.
Showing up in style, that is bare minimum. Whether I'm in the studio or in the boardroom, H&M is my plug. Just like Cebuana, it's fashion that hits. Fashion and quality at the best price in a sustainable way. Always H&M. Surprise! Since you're a loyal Sita babe, I'm giving you a limited time 10% off discount on your next lash appointment at Yash Eyelash Cebu. Just use my code #YashKarencitta10. You're welcome! Hi, Sita Babes. As a global creative director, I navigate both the creative and entrepreneurial worlds. I've always been in the pursuit for the untold narrative, the lessons that lie beneath the surface, and the unique perspectives that can shape a deeper connection within our community. It's these incredible stories that shape who we are and connect us in unexpected ways. Welcome to the Karencitta Show, Season 2. We're going to have intimate and inspirational conversations with thought leaders about topics that truly matter. After all, we all have a story to tell. Make sure you follow us on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts.